I'm so grateful to all of you. So in the, almost 13 years I've been doing doTERRA, we go on vacations together. I mean, it's like the mob. Our retreats that happen and all these women I just completely adore. I love that aspect that we can share with each other. So thanks everyone for coming. You're special to me. I had some questions for you. I want to know how specifically a doTERRA product has changed your life. You can write it down. You can share if you're a verbal processor, but the one that you are like, this is the one that got me. This is the one I can't shut up about. So the one that got me in was Deep Blue. My body has always been racked with discomfort, and that's driven me in many certifications and many directions, looking for that way that I can be comfortable in my body again. And when I do find even that fraction of a relief, that's the thing I have to share, because it's so like I have such empathy and connection with people that feel uncomfortable, and I'm trying to help them. So that was my first one. When I was getting anxiety relief from a lot of the oils, that's one of the ones I was heavy on sharing. But now my truest connection and story is with MetaPower, with all of those products that are helping me. Like, I'm literally not in pain anymore. I'm not sneaking ibuprofen. I'm not afraid of physical activity that was giving me like people are like, you want to go on a bike ride? And I'm like, just a simple bike ride. I was worried about hurting my neck. Now I can exercise every day. It's completely changed my existence or my quality of life. So that's what drives me to share. But I want to know what you guys wrote. What's the thing? What hooked you? And then what's keeping you here?
So the thing that got me was the peppermint and the digestin. That's helped me and my daughter get off of acid reflux meds, and we've been free of that for about 2 years now, probably, Dena. I would say 2 years. So right now for me, it's the adaptive and the serenity, because it's trying to transition from anxiety meds to no anxiety meds. It's a slow transition, but I carry my roller with me everywhere, and the family knows when I pull it out that just give me a minute. But no, right now it's adaptive and serenity for me. But the peppermint and the digestin is really what got me started.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. So this is the piece. So now that you've shared, I want you to write down your 5 favorite people that need those things. Does anyone else want to share? What's the thing that got you and is keeping you?
So I, as a nurse, didn't even have a clue of what essential oils were. But a good friend of ours, Tiffany, she introduced them to me. And at the time that I had my experience, I had horrible PMS, irritability, digestive upset. And she actually rubbed Zindacrine on my belly. And then a few minutes later, I left my session. I was actually in a colonic. I left the session and I was like, okay, I feel way different than what I normally feel. But what is it? And she's like, oh, I have these new oils, and they're really potent and powerful. So that was my first experience. Now, being in 11 years, 12 years, whatever we've been in, my most favorite experience is with the LLV, the lifelong vitality. And so I find that is so foundational and key to keeping your body healthy in so many aspects. In fact, I had like a workup done, and for insurance, they come and they do your labs to make sure that you're healthy enough to qualify. And I qualified for the top tier package. I'm 47, I'm not on any medications, which is phenomenal. And so for me, that's helped my health tremendously. And in fact, knowing like what my mom's had autoimmune disorder, she's been overweight and had trouble with losing weight. Like, that was the road I could have head down. But now, because of lifelong vitality, I can turn all those epigenetic switches off and not have to go down that road. And that's what's been such a blessing for me.
Dang, you must feel like a total hot bitch. Like, the insurance people said you were the one that like, you're the top tier.
Yeah, it was like the supreme. They were like, we don't usually see this, but you qualify for the extra supreme super duper package. No questions asked. Like, I was like, hey, cool. Yeah.
Well, you better stay away from cornfields, because if the aliens are listening, you are like going to be part of their breeding program. They're going to be like, well, that one's good.
Yeah.
Too funny.
No, thanks.
Cool. I went to a class, I think it was 2015. Dena was teaching the class. I'd heard about oils and stuff, and I took a friend because my health was a mess. Was on a lot of meds. I could hardly walk. My story was like Dena's mom's story. And so it was a total God thing for me because Dena talked about her mom. And then when the whole thing was so over, I was like spinning with excitement, thinking I could have that. I could have that kind of life. And then her mom was there. And I walked up and I think Dena goes, this is my mom. And I go, no way, this is not your mom. Because she looked like vibrant, picture of health, beaming. And I said, I want what you have. doTERRA has really been big the last couple of years with working hand in hand with hospitals, doctors, and medicine, So anyway, I had like things in my medicine cabinet. I was taking ibuprofen like a horse. I did not know that it hurt you. Did not know that. I had narcotics, couldn't sleep. My husband had sleep apnea for a while. And before we figured it out, I got addicted to sleeping pills. I just was on all kinds of things. I remember one bizarre neurologist person put me on, what's the word that people use when they're trying to get off heroin?
Methadone?
And I'm like, why do I need to be on methadone? And he was like, oh, I just think it'll help your situation. And I remember going on a, what do you call it? Like a mission where you go to another country and you help and you do one of those humanitarian things and you have to divulge any medicines you're on. And I remember being so embarrassed that I had to list all these things and methadone. And I thought, my gosh, this is just horrific. And not that my team would know it, but that it was just, I was so private about it. So anyway, I got off the methadone and then I went to this class and I thought, wow, I want this. So I didn't know a lot, but I knew LLV had changed Ginger's life. So I got LLV and I had chronic respiratory stuff and I got On Guard. Didn't know what all to do with it, but I put On Guard on my wrists every day, faithfully, and stopped having bronchitis, got on LLV, and split the box with my husband for the first week. He's construction, roofing, very physical. And I bumped him in the hallway one day and I go, I know this sounds absurd, but I think I'm in less pain. And he goes, I was going to kind of tell you the same thing. So anyway, took off like a horse out of the gate, never looked back. LLV changed my life. I got off all the meds. And I would give up groceries or my car or anything before I had to give up LLV. So I have nothing in the house. I have a low dose aspirin in the house, but I have no over the counter, nothing. I have a bottle of awful cough syrup stuffed away in the back of a cupboard for emergencies because your doctor thinks you're a drug addict if you want cough syrup with codeine, right? But LLV has changed my life. And I have, just so you know, I have a bulging, I worked for an airline for about 23 years. I have a bulging disc in my lower back. It doesn't usually bother me, but it's there. I have 2 torn rotor cuffs. I have carpal. I have a knee replacement. And my other knee, I have a torn ACL. So I get up and I walk a little slow in the morning. I'm 68. But I get up and start my morning and I pound down all my LLV just like Dena does. Dena, when she was nursing, she said, I take all 12 at once so I don't forget any of it. So I do the same. I bought these obnoxious boxes that hold all the pills, and my husband and I, we look like it's nuts. There's about 30 boxes on our kitchen table, and we just take everything faithfully. And when I start to feel any kind of breakthrough, anything, I take a couple of deep blue pills, and I love our turmeric capsules. So I really can't say enough. And I wish everybody could get it. Like I could never turn around and go the other way. And so that's what I want. I want to wake people up to knowing that, like Dena was saying, epigenetics, you do not, what is it? Lifestyle and food loads the gun, but how you do with all of that pulls the trigger. So if you change things, that trigger isn't going to get pulled. So, but anyway, LLV forever is amazing.